All right, and welcome everyone to the final day of regionals for Varsity Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Our first set will be beginning soon, and we have here Swerzy versus D-Dicey. Swerzy is the only one of the Fordo Spage esports Super Smash Bros. Players that has not been eliminated from the tournament as so far. We are currently in, I believe, winners semifinals, and the first match will begin very, very soon. Alright, and it looks like the match, the winner semifinals, Swerzy versus D-Dicey, playing under his school's esports tag, is about to begin. Swerzy going to be going Steve, a character that I'm sure most of us are very familiar with, but for those of you who may be new tuning in, Steve is a character who is defined by how he defies conventions. He has a jab that he can use while moving. He has a unique resource gauge that you can see in the bottom left, that he can use for certain moves, that he can use to place blocks, and that he can use to craft different tools, which will generally improve the quality of all of his normal attacks. Lucas is a significantly more straightforward character. He'll generally want to be zoning you out with fireballs and using his quick frame data to hit you back out, eventually finding kills either with edge guards or with solid kill setups, or interrupting aggressive approaches with things like forward tilt, but is extremely fast and has a good hitbox. Here we can see here, despite having a bit of a lead early on in the game, Swerzy kind of struggling against the PK fire. This is going to be Lucas's main projectile in the neutral. This controls a lot of space, deals good knockback, sends the opponent off stage, which then can transition into Lucas's very scary edge guarding game, either from down smash at ledge to hit below it and potentially two-frame the opponent, or from, you can see there, a bit of PK freeze, which if it's hit off stage at high enough percents can essentially mean death. However, it is important to remember right now that D-Dicey is not necessarily safe. Steve is a character who has extremely good frame data and combos, however none of that matters if he's not able to survive long enough to hit it. Oh, looks like we have It appears that there has been a communication error. I'm not sure if this is on the player side or if it's only us commentators. We'll be back with you soon, I guess. Okay, so for unclear reasons, the switch that we are using to commentate and spectate these games disconnected. The game itself has been unaffected, though. It looks like this was simply something going wrong on our side, so we will not be able to see the rest of the match, but we will inform you of that match's results once it's over. Alright, so it appears that there was a lot of lag on the gameplay side. The first match has concluded. DDIC has taken game 1 against Swerzy. Currently, both players are doing a lag test, so it may take a while for the second match to begin. Alright, so now that all the lag issues have hopefully been sorted out, we will soon be going on to game 2. Apologize for the large delay in between games, but things should pick up pretty soon after this. Alright, the second game of the set's about to begin. Both players going to be going the same characters that they did game 1. Swerzy once again going Steve, Lucas being played by D-Dicey, going to be going to Small Battlefield, essentially a slightly smaller version of Pokemon Stadium, which is the stage that the first game was set in before the street crashed. This stage probably will benefit Steve more than it does Lucas. Steve really does benefit off of having relatively small blast zones because it lets him kill his opponent with things like edge guards significantly earlier than something like Pokemon Stadium does, though it does give him a bit less room to run away to find blocks. And so far this set, Swerzy, it wasn't caught on stream, but has struggled a bit to get enough resources to continue going on as the games progress into the later stages, so having a bit less room to move around may be to his detriment. However, so far Swerzy appears to be playing this a lot more aggressively. Can't play as passively against Lucas due to his affinity for projectiles and long-range pokes. Swerzy Diamond Pickaxe breaks, however, does get the Stone Tool, is going to have a bit more knockback behind them. But he's going to want to go for diamonds here, and gets forward smash right at the tip of it. Swerzy going to lose the first stock, retreating, getting some more tools, mining a bit more. That PK freeze is the main reason why stalling in this matchup isn't usually as good as it typically is for him. But he does have a decent amount of resources now. Now he has Iron, does a significantly more powerful moveset. Swerzy places TNT as the ledge trap, sets it off, accidentally hits himself. He needs to take this first stock from D-Dicey if he wants to do anything. He manages to get a forward air. Just mines, tries to get some resources. Trades the minecart. He really needs to finish this off. A 63, now 76% deficit. Not looking too good for him. The minecart gets reflected by the forward smash that doubles as a projectile reflector. Swerzy does find the up smash punish, so he manages it. Gets a lot of resources now. Now his Iron Tools have fully repaired durability. He has diamonds for stock 3. This is going to be important. Diamonds are the thing that really turns Steve into overdrive. He already has an incredible combo game, and diamonds just give him so much more damage potential than he already has. Oh, accidentally down tilts the wrong way. That could potentially lead to a huge amount of damage if he's not able to find an opening again. Force Smash Whips gets hit by the weak hit of forward tilt. Strong hit there probably would have killed him. Lucas's forward tilt is going to be a very scary option that he's going to have to look out for. Just unable to find an opening against D-Dicey here. His offense is immaculate. It's there, sends him up, failing to land, struggling to get a punish, accidentally facing the wrong direction with the jabs. If any of these connect, he potentially do a lot of damage, but this up throw is going to be it. Swerzy's now on his final stock. D-Dicey 2 stocks to 1, but he has diamond tools. This is a massive shift. If he can get a single opening, he could potentially turn this into huge damage. Doesn't find the grab. Gets caught out. He's able to minecart through it. 47%. Needs to get more resources. Swerzy trying to avoid him. Dagger barely misses. Finally finds a forward smash. Gets him with the minecart. Goes for the anvil. Doesn't get it though. D-Dicey wise to his tricks. However, he does manage to find a forward smash. Gets caught up by a PK fire. How is he going to ledge trap this one? Goes for the attack get up. And then the back air intercepts him. All of a sudden, Swerzy could potentially see a huge swing of momentum here. Now he has diamond tools. Now with fully repaired durability, he gets launched off stage at 63% deficit. However, he can find a single good opening. It could be enough. That being said, D-Dicey has shown himself to be very good at preventing Swerzy from finding these openings. Finds a forward air. The dash attack whiffs. It looks like he tried doing another forward air as a drop down to platform, but just missed the drop down. Gets caught out by the forward air. PK fire intercepts him. Swerzy's able to get back to the ledge, uses minecart, gets caught by the command grab, doesn't find an opening off of it. However, D-Dicey's now off stage. Swerzy doesn't try intercepting. It's too dangerous. A PK Thunder tackle from Lucas would definitely be enough to kill. He's just trying to find resources. Gets intercepted by another PK Fire. Avoids a down smash and gets hit by the forward smash. Swerzy gets knocked down to loser's bracket as D-Dicey takes it over the #1 seed in the tournament 2-0.
Step into the ring.
Alright, it looks like our second set of the day is going to be going shortly. So begins Swerzy's losers run. Currently, he's going up against Lucas Omega. Swerzy going the traditional Steve, and Lucas Omega going Incineroar, a character I'm also sure many of us are familiar with, but if you need a quick refresher, this character is very slow, deals a tremendous amount of damage, and has a unique special mechanic called Revenge, wherein his down special will essentially absorb an opponent's attack and significantly increase the power of his next move. This gives Incineroar some insane amounts of comeback potential. However, it requires good reads and can be read just as hard to sort of blow up any of his options. Now, Steve is a character who, as we can see here, can really punish Incineroar heavyweights while they do last for a long time because they take less knockback. Also, that's a double-edged sword, meaning that they also are significantly more susceptible to combos. So as we see here, already has a huge percent lead. Swerzy under the tag Espada, just dominating the neutral so far. That being said, he still has to be careful because even a single mistake could potentially be punished with huge damage and the potential for death. Just narrowly avoids the Alolan Whip. That's another one of Incineroar's key moves. It's a command grab, meaning that acts similarly to a regular grab, but is tied to his side special. He dashes forward, and if he hits you, depending on when he times the button press, he can deal increased damage here. He has Revenge on deck. Revenge does stack with itself, and at max levels, it can give Incineroar some crazy damage output. The aforementioned Alolan Whip with max Revenge can deal around 60 to 70% in a single hit. As you can see here, boosting that forward tilt, not quite enough to kill Swerzy. He did only counter a jab, but the Revenge does scale depending on the power of the attack that was countered, but now that a Steve has Diamond, the Revenge is going to be a lot more potent, but so are Swerzy's options. Pass through it with the minecart. The move does have armor on it, meaning that it will not be flinched, and the cross chopping and fire effect, that's a very rare interaction. The TNT that Swerzy's been using to ledge trap will get automatically set by moves with fiery properties. Cross chop and Incineroar's recovery special move just so happens to be one of those moves. Lucas Omega trying to find a way to break through blocks, doesn't get it. Eats a huge amount of damage from a single jab combo, just walking along with it. Swerzy has diamonds, has gold, has a ton of resources to work with. Now he should be just focused on getting Lucas Omega's last stock. This character, although he does have a lead, he still has to play carefully because Incineroar can come back from almost anything. And the hit lag on that cross chop is going to be enough. Swerzy instantly retaliating with a restock. His first game into losers run. He might just be able to make it to grand finals if he's able to eliminate everyone else in the losers bracket. However, he still is an uphill battle because he is coming from losers. If he does make it to grand finals, he will have to win 2 sets back to back instead of the one that the contestant who is like part of the regular bracket will have to win. However, that's assuming he gets there. He might win this set, but it's debatable whether or not he'll win the whole tournament. Overall, I think Swerzy played that phenomenally. If Lucas Omega, he went for a few counters, not that many of them. He knows that Revenge is only good with predictable approach. And Steve is a character who kind of just counters everything Incineroar does. One of the weaknesses of Revenge is that command grabs are not affected by it. And the minecart, depending on the hit, where you hit it, or when you hit it, counts as a command grab. meaning that he can't revenge Minecart, which is one of Incineroar's only real anti-projectile options. Steve also has incredibly good frame data, that it's very easy for him to bait out a revenge with an attack that's just out of range, and then go in and punish him while he's still in lag, while Steve is able to move freely. Swerzy's made great use of it so far. He also has the ability to camp out with mining, which forces Incineroar to approach him in very unsafe ways due to how blocks work, because if you have to break them, you have to commit to attacks, and a character like Incineroar, who's extremely slow, does not like committing to attacks. Here we can see here, Swerzy already has a massive percent lead, not getting hit a single time so far. Davis Omega's already at 117%. Let's potentially see a punish, and that up smash, a 0 to death from Swerzy. The very first stock. Only manages to get a hit on. Almost SD, is able to make it back. The Rolling Whip gets interrupted by the down tilt. The combo just barely drops. Doesn't find a punish on Swerzy's Elytra back to stage though. Swerzy's now camping top. Looks like he's camping platform, trying to find an opening. Gets it back off stage. Forward throws off stage. That is a nasty angle. Incineroar might not be able to recover here, as we can see. That was not Lucas Omega misplaying. That is the limitation of Incineroar. This character's recovery is not that good. There are certain areas where he has blind spots because of how it works. Raw distance-wise, it's not terrible, but it's easy. It's somewhat easy to intercept, and more importantly, those aforementioned blind spots can be a huge hindrance. Swerzy normally likes to keep diamonds for later stocks. However, he does choose to pop them right now. That could potentially be a mistake if he gets killed off of this interaction. Oh, but he does find the up air into the up smash, using blocks to control space. Tries finding a down tilt on the ledge. The grab just barely gets through. Forward smash just gets spot dodged. That after the block that he had placed he's able to bounce off and prevent himself from getting launched to the left side of the stage. Those do have collision on all sides, and that does affect knockback, which can lead to some really weird interactions you don't normally see in this game due to the lack of walls on most stages. Swerzy, it looks like he's waiting to beat out a recovery option, just like he did first stock. He does have both gold and diamonds, but it's not going to matter because that back air is going to swiftly take Lucas Omega's last stock of the tournament as Swerzy knocks him out in a 2-0 victory.
Step into the ring.
Alright, so it may take a while for our next opponent to join. However, this should give us enough time to update what's happened in the tournament so far. Swerzy's next match for losers semifinals is going to be against Orb of Darkness. He was defeated by the player Tab Zero, who's looking like he might be the one to take a tournament. Tab Zero is the only player in the entirety of Mosef who, prior to these regionals, had taken a set off of Swerzy. If he makes it to Grand Finals and Swerzy makes it Grand Finals, Swerzy is going to have to overcome the only person who ever beat him in pools, not once but twice, in order to take it. However, after such a dominant display over Lucas Omega, the odds of him being able to make it there are looking more likely. That's not going to be an easy fight. Orb of Darkness does have a very, very impressive record so far. He was the one who originally sent Lucas Omega down into losers bracket in the first place, and he triumphed. He also sent the player Cubed into losers, who, if you recall from yesterday's events, was the same person who would eventually go to be defeated by M3 Assassin. It looks like Orb is joined just now. Orb was also one of the players who started out in Winners Round 2. See, the way the tournament works is that a number of players started in Winners Round 1, but the top-seeded players got in Winners Round 2. Those four players were Tab Zero, Orb, Swerzy, and D-Dicey. These are the four favorites to potentially win this tournament. Now we're going to see two of them face off and one of them get eliminated. Set's going to begin. Orb of Darkness going to be playing Byleth Swerzy, once again going with Steve. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I'm tempted to say that Swerzy should do very well in this. Byleth is a character with long range, but also very, very lacking in mobility. That is something that Steve can very much exploit. Mobility and frame data are two of Byleth's biggest weaknesses, and Steve, while his mobility is subpar, he does have a lot of movement options, especially off stage, which can hinder Byleth's edge guarding. And once Steve does manage to get in, the range deficit's not going to matter, as we can see here, and his superior frame data is going to let him win out in a ton of interactions. Now that gold is only going to further exacerbate the problem. Gold is unlike any of Steve's other materials. It increases the frame data on his moves, as opposed to making them any better on hit. So that will essentially let him play the neutral, play punishes significantly better with a lot more safety. Both players playing somewhat cautiously. Swerzy not wanting to overextend, wanting to play this more patiently, getting resources, learning from his mistakes against D-Dicey. His biggest weakness was finding good opportunities to get those resources. Now he's learning his opponent's options, forcing them to approach him as opposed to aggressively approaching himself. He now has diamonds on deck for the next Stakas. Oh, and a spike instantaneously. The momentum of the match has just completely been shifted. Swerzy immediately pops the diamonds on the tools. He needs to finish off this stock from Orb of Darkness if he wants to have any chance at this game so far. That was a brutal spike that just completely shifted the momentum of the match. Swerzy needs to find a way to finish this. It's a space down tilt. Minecart is going to be able to hit him though. Swerzy can't let him get too much of a percent lead. Currently at 54, this isn't looking good. The sweet spot forward smash, this could potentially be very, very bad for Swerzy. This match, that single down air may have just ruined his chances at getting to... that may have just cost him the tournament. However, Steve does have a great combo game. We'll see if Swerzy's going to be able to make this back. Finds the anvil, the dash attack accidentally off the anvil, gets caught up by the arrow, misses the tech, however, is going to punish the dash attack out of shield. gathering more resources, gets comboed by the up special into back air at above 50%, launches back into the minecart. That might have been a mistake. Swerzy has a mountain to climb if he wants to make this back. Steve is not the greatest character at making comebacks. He can do it, but it's not what the character is really designed for. Looks like he lacks materials. Swerzy just going in, trying to make up the deficit, not spending enough time getting resources, approaching recklessly. Oh, the forward smash is going to be not punished. I'm not sure if that is punishable. I'm tempted to say it is, even with the frame advantage that gold provides. Just trying to find resources, trying to get iron. Forward smash them with the gold. However, because gold is relatively weak material, it's not going to be enough to kill. Tried to go for the spike, the aforementioned, above 50%. Finds a forward air. Steve's at very high percent. But goes for the TNT, doesn't get it. Orb is just out of range. Edge guards with an air, however, as long as Steve has resources, he will be able to make it back. Looking kind of thin. Isn't able to find a punish, however, accidentally forward airs on the forward tilts again. Orb is going to get punished for that one. Tries comboing it into an up air to finish it off, however, Orb just barely misses it. Both in clank. Forward smash both. Swerzy has diamonds. He may want to pop these immediately if he doesn't get killed by this back throw, which he does. Swerzy loses game 1 to an early forward smash tipper and a down air spike from Orb of Darkness. That was intense. This Swerzy's on the ropes now. This may be the end of his bracket run. All he has to do to qualify for stage is take out Orb. However, that's going to be easier said than done. I'm not sure what Game 2 is going to look like. Orb has proven that they are more than capable of ending stocks quickly and efficiently. However, that down air was a massive shift in momentum. I don't know if they're going to be able to hit that again. That down air is what cost Swerzy that game. If he's able to avoid a similar fate with the next 2 games, he might be able to bring this back. He did relatively well for himself. They were pretty much even after that first stock. However, because of the advantage that first stock provided, Swerzy did end up biting the first game on that. Going to game 2, I'm curious to see what both of them are going to do. I doubt either of them will switch characters. It's mainly going to be a matter of whether or not they'll switch stages. If Swerzy wants to avoid early KOs, especially that early forward smash, maybe a larger stage, but then again, whether or not those difference in blast zone size is going to be enough is entirely unknown. He might go for a larger stage because there's more room to run away and thus more room to mine. However, we'll just see how this goes. Going to Yoshi's story, this may be for his benefit. The platforms can provide some safety when block camping. However, they can also provide him some combo extensions because he can land on them. However, they can also provide some things for his opponent. Looks like he goes for another potential cheese down air. However, he's on stage, so I'm not sure what he's going for, trying to rack up damage. However, he appears to already be doing that in spades. Swerzy not getting a good opening, but finally finds one right as I say that. The commentator's curse goes for it, drops the combo though. Tries to make it back to stage. Orb has been dominating the pace of the match so far. Swerzy needs to get back to stage. So by that, and combos into it. Orb of Darkness takes the first stock at 42%. This could potentially be the end of Swerzy's run. Minecart gets intercepted. Tries going for it again. He needs to build up resources. He's trying to do it. And needs to drop through the platform. He doesn't do it though. The minecart gets beat out by the back air. Punishes the attempted dash attack with one of his own. He's trying to gather resources. The miss-space down tilt. That's not going to do him any favors. Goes for a down smash. Trying to get him onto ledge. This is arguably where Steve plays best because he has so many ledge trapping options. Swerzy now has iron. Uses TNT to limit his options. Detonates it a bit too late or a bit too early, depending on how you look at it. Forward smash barely gets interrupted by the forward tilt. Almost gets hit by the sweet spot yet again. However, that forward smash is going to be able to take it. Swerzy does have a 70% deficit. However, he could potentially make this up quickly. I'm not sure how this is going to look. This could go either way. Swerzy could get a single opening, deal 70%, and then instantly tie up the game, or Orb could just capitalize off this momentum and continuously get it. These forward airs, he's not finding a way around them. Gets caught out by the up smash and just barely survives. Oh, bounces off the ground. That lag is going to be punished. Oh, Darkness finally gets an opening. However, he doesn't overextend. He's going for a down tilt. Oh, finds one. Isn't able to convert it into the combo. Swerzy potentially choking due to the stress of the situation. Oh, gets edge guarded, doesn't tech back onto stage, however, does bounce off of it, gets hit by the forward tilt. He has to make up 2 stocks. I'm not sure if Swery's going to be able to do it. That being said, he does have diamond. Doesn't find the combo. Oh, finds this one, though. Tries to predict something, however, doesn't get it. The forward smash is going to whiff. Finds that, finds the up smash, not quite enough to kill. However, that's going to almost be enough. Orb is not yet dead. Swerzy trying to find a good ledge trap. Doesn't get punched with a forward smash on shield. However, he still has to make this up. However, he does now have the tools to potentially be able to do that. He's simply mining for resources, not getting punished by Orb. He's too afraid because of how non-committal mining is. Gonna try and find a punish. Doesn't get it. Just barely shields the back air. Minecarts are continuously missing. Orb is not wanting to play around them. Fails to punish that. Oh, that's going to be a massive kill. Swerzy bringing this back pretty well. Only has a 35% deficit now. Crafts more diamond tools. This is going to be it. This could potentially decide the set. Oh, finds an opening. Fails it. Accidentally gets caught on the block. Like, hits him with the up tilt. Both players are basically neck and neck. Swerzy makes it back to stage finally, gets an opening, gets a forward smash off stage. This could potentially be huge. Uses the TNT, detonates it, gets caught by the sweet spot of the back air. Oh, just narrowly avoids that forward smash, fails to confirm, fails that. However, Orb flubs the punish. That could have potentially been the set. However, the failed punish with the forward tilt instead of a potential sweet spot forward smash. Maybe enough to decide it. The back air hits Orb Darkness. He just barely survives. Swerzy has to ledge trap him one more time. The down tilt hits. TNT detonation isn't able to catch him, and that forward smash is going to do it though. Swerzy narrowly brings it back in game 2, taking Orb of Darkness to game 3. This set has been electrifying so far. Swerzy is really getting caught out by all these forward airs. Orb is doing a very, very good job of keeping momentum. Swerzy has found it very difficult to find clean, solid openings. However, when he goes back, when he finds time to mine, when he finds time to get those resources in positions of advantage, it appears to be working out very well for him. That being said, Orb of Darkness now gets a stage counter pick. I'm curious as to what he'll go to. Essentially, every stage in the game can benefit Steve in different areas, with the one downside being that it nerfs his other areas. Like, say that example, Yoshi's Story. Relatively simple stage, the platforms could potentially help Steve, because they increase his combos. A flat stage doesn't have platforms, so Steve doesn't get those combo options. However, they also make it harder to avoid his blocks because you don't have platforms to potentially just go around them. And it also means that you have to more directly engage with things like minecarts, which platforms can help alleviate. On a stage like Pokemon Stadium, the situation is a bit more nuanced. It's essentially a mix of the two. This is what they go to. Both characters aiming to stay the same. Orb's still going Byleth. Swerzy still going Steve. When we go into Town and City, this is essentially Final Destination with a couple moving platforms. The platforms aren't usually that big of a factor. However, knowing Steve, anything could potentially be huge. Massive combo, doesn't overextend, predicting the forward air punish, attempted forward air punish on any overextension. Swerzy wisely decides not to go for it. Mining with, because this stage's texture is made out of wood, he's going to be mining with the axe. I'm pretty sure this will remove durability from his axe instead of his pickaxe, which could potentially come into play. It will ruin his combo game, but generally, it will allot him more durability for his killing back air and forward air. Swerzy doing a lot better job of keeping momentum. The block is getting in the way. However, it's not going to matter because the back air bounce off the block. Going to go right into the forward air. Swerzy only has 43% on him so far. At the combo starter, this is huge. Hits the spike against Orb. However, it's not going to be enough knockback to kill just yet. Orb was at 0% when he hit that first down tilt. However, Swerzy does have Diamond on deck, choosing to go for blocks, choosing to mine up some resources. Has diamonds, hits him with the anvil. He's done an excellent job of preventing Orb from getting any offensive momentum. And that dash attack's going to be unsafe on shield. That's going to be a punish. Orb tries going for an edge guard. However, Swerzy goes directly back to stage, predicting he'll do just that. Finds a minecart. The command grab hits him. Doesn't go for it. Goes for another ledge trap. Not hit him with the TNT so far. Max base force smash. Not going to find a punish against it. Looks like he's trying to bait him into doing something slow so that way he can punish potentially with a kill move. Contrary to what it may appear, Byleth is in kill range right now. Orb of Darkness has to be careful. That back air is going to take it. Swerzy refreshes some durability. Now just continually mining resources. His inventory is now full. This could potentially be a huge upset after the first game was lost and the second game narrowly won. Swerzy is potentially on the verge of 3-stocking Orb of Darkness. Down smash, very unsafe on shield. That might have been attempted down tilt. Hits him with the back air. Orb's currently off stage. This is where Steve is most scary, when you're at the ledge, and he's not. Now the situations have been reversed. Oh, Swerzy has to go to the ledge. Minecart barely bounces off. Avoids the forward tilt. Back air just barely not enough to kill. Anvils to cover his options, forcing him to go early. He's trying to bait him out into doing something. Swerzy has diamonds available for stock 2 and stock 3. Shields the arrow. Gets caught by the minecart once again. Doesn't go for the edge guard. Goes for the TNT. He's been looking for this TNT all set. Hasn't managed to hit it yet, though. Swerzy just patiently mining resources, letting Orb tie his own fate, letting him overcommit to something, let him punish. Oh, that sweet spot forward smash going to find it. Swerzy does still have diamonds, though. This isn't going to be a 3-stock, but he could still potentially do huge damage here. Swerzy playing very carefully in that back air. Just barely not enough. Once again, the fake zoom in on the back air is not going to be enough. And so Swerzy tries finding it, and that minecart's going to be enough after a defeat in Game 1 and a narrow victory in Game 2. Swerzy brings it back to the 2-stock in Game 3, solidifying not only his place in losers, either semifinals or regular finals, but also securing his place into state. apologies, we had to delay that a bit because the arena that they had made did not actually offer enough room for us to commentate a bit. Now that's been taken care of. The losers finals match between Tab Zero and Swerzy should be beginning shortly. These two players do have a storied history. Tab Zero is the only player that beat Swerzy in a set in pools. A 2-1 victory, I believe it was. So these two players, they potentially have some drama going on between them. Swerzy's going to want to take this back, and it is important to remember that because this is finals, this set's going to be working a lot differently. It's going to be a first to 3 instead of the first to 2 format that most sets have been so far this set, a tournament, which means that each player will have to win 3 games in order to advance. This is just going to decide who's going to make it to grand finals of this tournament. Both players are guaranteed to make it to state though, so some pressure is going to be off of both of them so they can potentially play at their best. Swerzy already has a tiny amount of the lead there, hits him with the Stone Sword forward smash. Swerzy doing a good job of getting some resources. Wolf's going to potentially be a character that could really struggle off stage in this situation. As we see here, the side special is going to get punished. Oh, Swerzy accidentally tries going through platform and potentially teabags instead. This could potentially goad him into making a few more mistakes. The anger from perceived taunting can really affect people's gameplay. Mental is just as important to keep in mind as one's physical abilities. Tab Zero gets caught by the minecart, gets hit by the forward air off stage. Swerzy grabs him, runs through the Wolf Flash with a roll. That is a recovery special that Wolf can make good use of, however, it can be somewhat predictable if spammed mindlessly. It has a sweet spot at the very end of it where it will do a ton of damage and spike the opponent, and a separate spot somewhat close to it that's also very strong but sends up more upwards. So you can potentially use that as a kill option. However, Tab Zero actually, has to hit him in order to do that. He's not yet managed to find a stock against Swerzy so far. The player shielding, being very cautious, just narrowly avoids the punish, hits with another back air. Swerzy playing this excellently, playing around Wolf's range. This is something that Steve does have an advantage of in this matchup. Both of them have relatively similar range of their normals, however Steve does have the disjoint advantage, and some of his moves are especially disjointed. He also has some very mean angles on moves like that down smash. Oh, Tab Zero doing a very excellent job of moving around it. Oh, gets caught on the blocks by the jab for a few extra extensions. Forward smash barely missed Steve. This could have potentially been a mistake. Popping diamonds a bit too early may potentially cost Swerzy everything. Usually he wants to save those until after he loses his stock because diamonds do not respawn with you, meaning that he has to start all the way back from wood. Swerzy gets caught in a bit of a combo, however is able to break it. Now has the advantage, trying to land against Steve is an incredibly difficult task. The grab follow-up, grab punish against the whipped up smash just barely avoided. However, Tab Zero, a huge amount of percent. Oh, that failed punish. Swerzy, once again, every character failing their punish. Swerzy gets a forward smash, and that's going to be enough. A pretty quick, but still very intense 2-stock against Tab Zero. Tab already is showing signs that he is more than capable of playing around Swerzy, mainly in terms of blocks. He's been moving around those blocks incredibly well, not letting himself get distracted with trying to break them, instead of going over them and avoiding Swerzy's aggressive interceptions by not overextending. Swerzy also prevented overextending, actually. Wolf is a character who can really punish you for mistakes because his toolkit is so well-rounded. He can essentially play any sort of game plan that you can think of. His laser projectile is one of the best projectiles in the game. It's transcendent, meaning that unlike other projectiles, such as Steve's minecart, as we saw in the previous set, normal moves can't make it disappear. They can't beat it out. They will just go through it and hit the opponent anyway. So we can use those to set the pace of the game, sort of follow behind them, use them to cover his approach, and sort of dictate where the opponent goes for fear of getting hit by them and by extension him. He also does have really, really good hitboxes on a ton of moves, mainly down smash. That move is infamous for being incredibly disjointed, despite what it may appear. That being said, it's still no sword normal. And going into game 2, it's not like there's anything. There's not like Wolf is completely without weakness. The biggest one in this matchup is probably going to be his recovery. Swerzy potentially see it running. Here we see the laser already. Incredible Good offstage combo from Tab Zero. Swerzy at the percent deficit despite starting it off pretty well. Gets anti-aired once again, tries going for the reflector, doesn't manage to get it. That is a frame 6 combo move that Wolf can do. Gets caught by the back air though. Tab Zero now at 50% breaks it. Tries breaking the crafting table to prevent him from going back to it. However, he simply summons him back to him. Has iron tools now, however, he needs to find the end of the stock quickly. He doesn't want to let Tab Zero find a massive lead here. Swerzy wants to end this as quickly as possible. The less he has to play against him, the better. Dash attack whip punishes him. Bears constantly just narrowly avoids the forward smash, punishes the laser. That's going to be very unsafe out of shield. Could potentially have gotten something bigger, but he goes for what's a guarantee as opposed to what could potentially give him the biggest reward because he wants to avoid overextensions. Both players sort of trade hits. Swerzy really wants to finish this out. It's a forward smash, 68% 0.7 deficit. Using this opportunity to mine. Elytra's back, avoids the up smash. He's gone in both times and gotten up smashed for it. Up airs barely avoids it, goes for the back air in the wrong direction. However, does get forward tilted. He needs to find an opening here if he doesn't want to get too far behind. 2 stock to 1, just narrowly avoids that. Hits a jab combo all the way across the stage, a decent amount of damage. Oh, there's the sweet spot on the Wolf Flash that we mentioned. That's why he did so much shield stun. Avoids the minecart, however, gets caught by the forward smash. Hitting and avoiding it. A second back air is going to take Swerzy's second stock. Swerzy needs to finish this out. He hasn't gotten diamonds yet. He hasn't gotten a moment to breathe. He's using this opportunity to get resources, gets iron. Looks like he might not have a sword. The jab did look very stubby. Gets up thrown, gets forward tilted after air dodging out of it. Just narrowly avoids another forward tilt punish. Just looking to get resources and potentially end this with diamond. That's calling in the forward smash, just barely misses, gets grabbed, gets up thrown, avoids the up air. Doesn't have enough resources to go for something like a down air to potentially catch him. He needs to be conservative here. Oh, accidentally, Elytra's back to the platform. Finds refuge in the ledge. Oh, misses the punish on the up smash. He was just a bit late on dropping the shield. Oh, isn't able to find a punish there either. Oh, finds it against him. However, Tab Zero also failing a punish, gets caught out by that. Swerzy using this opportunity to mine resources, and gets caught by another up smash, just barely not surviving. Swerzy could potentially lose this. Doesn't have a sword anymore. He's going to have to make it back to stage to potentially craft something. No longer has access to a forward smash. His remaining 2 smash attacks aren't as easy to just send out and use for whip punishing. He needs to find an opening here. Gets caught by the jab. Combo's at 156%, has max range, which could potentially be to his detriment because combo's going to be a lot more difficult. Doesn't find a punish that barely misses and gets caught by the third back air. Is going to take it. Tab Zero retaliating with a 2 stock of his own in game 2, taking this to game 3. Remember, they're going to 3 wins, so this is the first win for both of them. This is looking to be a very, very intense set. If it keeps on going on in this sort of trading faction, I think Swerzy may potentially have the advantage here. Steve is a character because of his complexity. If you do not play Steve and are forced to play against him, Steve can be mentally exhausting. This character is draining to try playing against. He has so many options that you have to always keep into consideration. So much specific little counterplay that you have to work around that if Swerzy is going to be playing a game of endurance, he might be able to win out. That being said, the complexity of Steve and the plethora of options you have available to you and the specific application of those options could potentially be detrimental to Swerzy as well. I'd imagine having to constantly keep all those in mind while playing the character isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world. Going into this is still a very high stakes match, which is another thing we have to potentially keep in mind if we're going for the mental stack approach. This is losers finals. Whoever wins this set's going to go on to face D Dicey in grand finals for the crown of this regional. It's going to be a difficult battle, but first things first, they have to focus on this set going into game 3. Wonder what stage we'll see. I'm seeing a small battlefield. This could potentially be bad for Swerzy. He's not going to have nearly enough time to build up resources, which were getting to be a bit of a problem. He wasn't able to find his mojo. Using a lot more laser. Tab Zero abusing his best neutral tool a lot more effectively now. Swerzy, however, is not going to be having any of it. Hits him with the minecart, doesn't able to get a push an advantage. He needs to prevent Tab Zero from getting a huge lead here. Oh, doesn't find the punish, however, does find a back air on the attempted punish of his own punish. Doesn't find an offstage spike, drops the combo extension. Tries going for falling up air, however, just barely misses it. Hits that one, however, once again, doesn't find an extension. Forward smashes through it. That's a very, very good option that Steve has at his disposal. His forward smash just barely reaches through blocks, so if they try breaking blocks, he can potentially punish them for it. Using a lot of blocks, you're just going to have to mine in order to keep this up. Oh, the back air gets punished by the grab, gets thrown off stage. Both characters are at somewhat even percents. Tab Zero does have a slight lead. Oh, finally finds a punish against it, only in the form of a jab, though. Doesn't get anything larger. It's a down tilt, but finds no punish against that either. Swerzy trying to back air preemptive attacks, however, Tab Zero is not going for it. Catches the Elytra back to stage, but it's not quite enough to kill. Oh, that's going to be a massive punish. The dash attack almost enough to kill. Minecart's back. Swerzy is trying to find his bearings. Find a good opportunity to potentially get some resources. He's starving for them at the moment. Off, he doesn't have a lot of iron to work with. This could potentially be bad. Oh, misses the punish. Doesn't go for another failed punish that time. Instead, chooses to simply roll through him. Doesn't know the timing on this play. Oh, the back throw is barely not enough to kill. Swerzy is at a very high percent. This rage could potentially be to his benefit. If he can take Tab Zero's first stock, the momentum could be a huge swing in his favor. He has gold now because kill power isn't as much of a priority given his high rage. Waits for him to overcommit on something. Hits him with the back air, not quite enough. Swerzy is 176%. Steve is not a heavyweight character. He should be dead right now. Oh, that forward smash. Swerzy does have diamonds on deck, I guarantee. I'm guessing he's probably gonna... Yep, he has diamonds available now. This is a far more scary situation for Tab Zero now. His lead is, while present, is not very large. He could easily make this up in a single straightforward smash. However, Tab Zero's done a great job of avoiding them so far. Swerzy fails to follow up on the minecart. Gets back air shielded. Gets caught by the blaster. All of a sudden, Tab Zero's lead is extending itself. Tries using the anvil to break it. However, that back air is going to be enough. Tab Zero's first stock is taken. 50% deficit. However, Steve can absolutely make these sort of percent deficits back. It's finding solid kill confirms, which can occasionally be this problem because his moves have to be used in a very specific way. Gets a massive combo. Like I mentioned, percent deficits aren't as big of a deal for Steve. All of a sudden, they're tied up. The dash attack. Swerzy's now managed to claw back a semblance of a lead, if barely. Punishes him with the forward smash. Has to mine in order to get better tools. This will lose him access to his diamond tools because he had to repair the durability on his pickaxe. Could potentially be a problem. It's snared off. Swerzy no longer has the insane kill power the diamonds provide, instead of having to go for a stone. Having to settle for that. There's a very high percent, gets caught out by the down smash. Tab Zero anticipating the Elytra back. Swerzy, reading that Tab Zero will expect him to do something aggressive, will simply craft in his face and will not get punished for it. The powered rail minecart's going to not be enough to kill so far. Predicts something, back throws him off stage, goes for a ledge trap, hits him with the down tilt for staying on ledge for too long. Predicts something, get up and goes for a forward smash. The grab's going to go unpunished. Again, Swerzy's probably just looking for diamonds right now. If he can get these, this might be enough. The dash attack's going to be enough. Sets up a barrier, crafts iron tools. Yeah, that's a very good moveset to work with so far. Fails to find a punish on the full jab combo. He's currently at ledge. This is very scary. Makes it back. It's a very slight percent lead in Tab Zero's favor. However, Swerzy doesn't have iron. He doesn't have any iron resources. He needs to find an opportunity to mine. If he does not, this could potentially be a massive hits with a huge jab combo. However, doesn't get anything big from it. Gets crafting table back to the center of the screen so it's more easily accessible. He's trying to find resources to use minecarts in neutral. However, he's not able to find enough time. He's not able to get an opening. This is the detriment of a small stage like this. Gets caught out. Elytra's back through. All he needs is a solid opening, but whether or not he's actually going to be able to get it is something for debate. He's running out of resources. He needs to find an opportunity to do something. Elytra's right in the face, gets up thrown. He may not be able to make this back. He has a few more resources, but he's still very tight. Minecart's through. Tries going for a grab, doesn't get it, uses another minecart. He's now with very limited iron resources once again. Oh, almost SDs, gets caught up by the up smash. the dash attack just barely whiffs, and that second up smash is going to take the third game. Tab 0 now at match point. Swerzy only one game away from potentially getting dropped out of the tournament. Swerzy, he really struggled on those small stages. He needs to find, he needs to go to a larger stage. He needs to find more opportunities to mine. He just kept on missing out on materials, kept on missing out. The aggression from Tab 0 is proving absolutely critical. What surprised me is that Swerzy hasn't gone for like any edge guards. He's gone primarily for ledge traps, and not a lot of them seem to be working out in his favor. He needs to focus on getting Tab 0 off stage and abusing Wolf's somewhat linear recovery. Otherwise, this may be the end of Swerzy's run. Going into game 4. Swerzy going to be changing skins. Curious to see what game 4 has to offer. Going once again to small battlefield. This could potentially be a huge mistake. Swerzy doesn't have a lot of room to gather necessary resources. Comes in with the back air, minecarts him. Tries punching the attempt, however, the fire from the down tilt is going to get caught out by the forward air. Swerzy needs to get a lead early on. He needs to get momentum in order to do anything. Can't do it with these simple one and done combos. He has to get good extensions in order to get damage comparable to what Wolf can do in just a few hits. Wolf does a lot of damage in this game. Just barely avoids it. Use the blocks. The anvil's going to miss. That's a waste of iron. Can't afford that right now. He does not have a lot of materials to work with. Gets caught out by another up smash and gets hit by the back air. Swerzy now it is second stock, what could be potentially the second stock of his tournament run. Punishes the laser with the back air. Hits the minecart. Goes for the edge guard. Not able to get it. The Wolf flashes back to stage. Tab 0. At 78%, gets forward thrown off. Swerzy uses the down tilt on ledge. Gets caught by the sweet spot of Wolf flash. Doesn't matter. Is able to predict their ledge roll and forward smash him as a result. Sets the TNT, preventing another ledge roll, forcing him to get up normally. Sets off the TNT with the minecart, dash attacks him to the other side of the stage. Tries anviling to prevent his ledge get up, however, doesn't get it. Huge extended combo from Tab 0. Tries going for a Wolf Flash, however, just barely avoids it. Swerzy needs to find an end to the stock if he wants to have any hope. Tries forward smashing through the blocks, isn't able to get it. Minecart gets caught on the blocks himself, fails to find the punish. These smash attack punishes have been really suboptimal for Swerzy. This could potentially cost him the game. He's just vainly hoping that Tab 0 is going to run into them. He's not able to find it. Tab 0 is barely able to. Once again, the up air barely not killing. Swerzy pulled off the pin by just a hair's breadth. Narrowly avoids that. Beats out the laser with the minecart, gets potential combo, but misses the jump on it, has no iron left to work with. He's going to have to work exclusively with the tool he has now. He does have diamonds, it's important to note. The respawn is going to give him something. It looks like Tab 0 is trying to push him away from the crafting table. He does not. Swerzy to get diamonds, which he now has. This could be a momentum shifter. Tab 0 all of a sudden went from relatively safe to kill percent in just that single crafting. Doesn't find the punish. Shields the wrong way. Grabs the wrong way. Once again predicts the Electra, however, doesn't find a punish on it. Forward air Swerzy for what could potentially be. Swerzy off stage. Electra's back. Gets grabbed off. And the Wolf Flash connects. The sweet spot spike that was mentioned at the very beginning of the set. Coming back, eliminating Swerzy for the tournament as Tab 0 takes the set 3-1 to move on to Grand Finals in his rematch versus D Dicey. Alright, and because Swerzy was the final Forto Sage player in that tournament, that will be the end of the stream today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And tomorrow we will catch Swerzy yet again for the state championship.